sorry, and B, some other people are grifters as well, like Quarter Pounder, like people who have just been doing it for too long. Like the shtick is almost like a little too absurd. Like it's like, do you really care that much about what's her name? The blonde woman who played in that one superhero movie that the Quarter Pounder has like a giant rage boner for. What's her name? I keep thinking Tommy Lauren, and I know that that's not her. Brie Larson, thank you. Like,
2
after
years
like
of
the
Denims.
10th Brie Larson video, I'm like, there's no way you're actually this mad about this. There's just no way. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Ghost Dunk, thank you for the 2 years. Oh my fucking God. Thank you. To be clear, I also think that the Quarter Pounder is also dumb as a rock, but... And then everyone else seems to not be grifting. Everyone else, I think, is not grifting, which is very scary.
In place, but they did a survey of about 2,000 workers recently, and there was no negative correlations between having tattoos and employment. There was even a slightly positive correlation with men, so that's just kind of something to take into account. But if we do care about freedom of expression, as Misha herself claims to, then isn't that something we should want to change? The implied answer here is that no, we shouldn't, because much like gravity, getting fired for having purple hair and a septum piercing is a fixed, unchanging law of the universe. The next part of her video dips into some pretty clear-cut transphobia, so if you're not interested in seeing that, skip to the timestamp on the screen now. So the next point Misha makes here is that this style of expression, the ugly one, is linked to what she calls gender ideology, which is what she uses to refer to trans and non-binary people.
And the other point is that this style is unlike the, let's say, goth or emo teens expressing themselves, because this style has a lot of connection to specifically gender ideology.
Here is a non-binary fashion tip that is not going to be for everyone. Get down with dressing weird.
Pro tip for trans women, get a f***ing face tattoo, cause this shit cured my f***ing dysphoria. When I look this f***ing cool, bro.
You betcha.
Are you with Embo?
That's okay. I will say just really quickly, it is so powerful. If you get a face tattoo, if you have a face tattoo, I will never fuck with you. Ever. Not even as a joke. Like, I fuck with a lot of my friends. I love to do it. It's my favorite type of humor is like to fuck with people, because I think it's funny as fuck. Okay, this is my opinion. I think it's funny. All right. Okay. But if you have a face tattoo, I won't. I will never. I'm sorry. That's like, you're so powerful to care so little about societal norms. I could never. Like, I could never. Like, I could never. I care too much.
Now, before I play the rest...
Wait, some of these TikToks are fine. Some of them are just like non-binary makeup. Like, what? What was this one? Why is this one in this? But this one is fine. This one is just get ready with me. What's wrong with this one, huh? Non-binary makeup. This one is fine. What's wrong with it? What? I understand this one has like the face tattoos, so that person's upset. This one just says making pins. This person isn't even like necessarily queer or anything else. They just are an artist. That's just what artists are. Artists are just weird. If you're an artist, you are naturally weird. You know? That's just how it is. Huh? I don't understand. Adrian, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Now, before I play the rest of the clip, I want to briefly interject here. Misha uses the phrase gender ideology. It must be made absolutely clear that this phrase is a transphobic dog whistle. It is used to reduce—
Okay, hold up. I have to address something in chat really quickly. I have to address something in chat. You trying to participate in an e-date with Kai Sanat? We scouting for females right now for content. If you be down with participating in his stream, it's for Kai Sanat. We are looking for girls for The Button, which is an e-date styled game. Wondering if you'd want to participate. So the problem is I wouldn't be able to stop talking about the fact that he got a hand job on stream. So I don't know if I'm a good fit, you know? I just don't think I would be a good fit. I just feel like I should be forthcoming with you. Or sorry, forthright with you. I'm sorry. Okay? Yeah. And then the whole covering for his friend thing, I would probably bring that up like 5 times, maybe. That New Year's party thing was... So, I mean, if that's fine, then yeah, you can hit me up on Discord. If it's fine that I bring that up, then yeah, just I would love to have a conversation with him about it. If that's not fine, I don't know if that's going to be a
5 months, very cool DNML.
I don't know if it'll be a good fit. But yeah, just let me know. Just let me know. Trin Ray, thank you for the 5 months. Thank you. Like, I need to stop saying, why don't I get sponsors? Okay. I need to stop saying that out loud because I know why I don't get sponsors. I need to stop. Okay. I get it. I'm too abrasive for sponsors. I understand. Why did God curse me to be an opinionated woman? Why couldn't I just be some dumb trad wife that just is like, whatever opinion was last spoken to me is the opinion I hold? God. Oh. This is terrible. He's dead ass, dude. He's dead ass with proof. Yo, for real? No cap? Hey. You just need a woke sponsor, dude. For real. Bud Light, please. I'm woke enough. I swear. Okay? I have had sexual relations with women. Is that woke enough? I met multiple women. May I add? May I add multiple women? Okay, I got game. I got Riz. My Riz is, hi. I think you're pretty. I know Chad thinks I'm fucking with you guys, but that actually is my Riz. I'm not very good at Riz. I'm actually like terrible at Riz. That would work on me. Unfortunately, women doing that to other women, it works literally every time. It literally works every time to just be like, hi. Okay, back to the video. What do we do? Where do we leave off?
The existence of trans people down to being the product of an ideology that one is ascribed to and also that one can be indoctrinated into. This is a common anti-trans rhetorical trick. You see this from anti-trans activists all the time, from TERFs to genocidal fascists.
There can be no middle way in dealing with transgenderism,
which are often, not mutually exclusive groups.
I'm surprised Noah didn't put the part of that Michael Knowles clip where Michael Knowles literally says we have to eradicate transgenderism. Which is, by the way, a lot of people to the people who are Jewish in my community, tell me how you feel about this comparison, and if this comparison is harmful or if it is a useful tool. But the way that conservatives talk about trans people feels very similar to the way that like anti-Semites talk about Jewish people. Is that too far? Can I say that? Is that okay to say? I'm pretty sure it's fine, but I would like to know it, because it genuinely feels like Jewish question shit, where like it's completely in your face of like, it's 100% the same language. Okay. I was pretty sure, but I just wanted to double check, and I would rather just directly ask. To say we need to eradicate transgenderism is insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, that feels like, I saw a post where someone one for one replaced the word trans in their tweets with like Jewish people. They're all groomers. They run the media is like definite. Yeah, it's, you know what I mean? It's straight up is like kind of, it's like, yeah, it's like straight up genocidal to say we need to eradicate transgenderism. It's just fucking weird. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
That means reducing or keeping down the number of people who transition. Every one of those people is someone who needs special accommodation, but every one of them is a difficulty.
Transness to them is not a valid state of being, it is the product of an ideology. And for those who tend to use gender ideology in this way, that ideology must be eradicated.
Transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely.
Every one of them is a difficulty.
Just a note there on some terminology, but let's let Misha continue.
So someone will post this style and get a bunch of comments saying, you look great, I love how you look non-binary, right? You have that look to you. And
the trans debate is like a repackaging of the Jewish question. It's insane to me. And like, here's the problem, I guess, that I have. It doesn't feel like these people actually care about women in sports. It doesn't feel like these people actually care about kids being groomed or whatever. And I say that because of the track record that these people have, right? Like, if you cared about women's sports, why 5 years ago when like America's women's soccer team was talking about wanting similar pay and similar benefits, did you laugh at them and say, why don't you guys play better? It's like, you don't, huh? Isn't it their right to demand better working conditions and better pay? Like, isn't that also literally what you tell women? Isn't like the major, I remember this was like the anti-SJW talking point.
Imagine these people taking a basic biology class and then thinking they know the advanced biology of what trans and intersex people are. Kekwa.
Mm-hmm. Smeltzer, thank you for the 13 months. So like, yeah, that's, you know what I mean? They don't, LMAO, most of the policies against trans people actually hurt women and children. Yeah. And then like I hate when the conservatives are like, oh, we just care so much about children getting groomed and thinking that they're trans for attention. It's like, wait, if you care so much about kids, why are you not in favor of free lunch for all kids? Because you're saying that's what you care about. You just care about protecting and helping and saving kids. Why the fuck do kids still have to pay for food? Wait, if you care so much about kids, why are you allowing the leading cause of death of children, which is guns, by the way, to continue to happen? Why are we not implementing gun control if we care so much about kids? But if you care so much about kids, why do parents have to pay for all of these things for their children? Shouldn't children just be owed these things like pre-K or things like daycare or things like good after school programs or stuff like that? Shouldn't that just be owed to kids? Or like even like let's go even further back. I know a lot of like Nordic countries have policies in place that if you are an expecting parent, you are automatically given some amount of money every year for like the first few years. First of all, childbirth, you don't pay $20,000 to go give birth in a hospital. And you're also sent like food and supplies that you are going to need in your first year. You know? So that's, yeah, basic childcare stuff. So if we care so much about the kids, why haven't we implemented policies like that? Right? Because you're like pro-life and you're pro-kids and whatever. Why are we not doing anything about that? You know? You seem to be tittering on one set, what some people call socialism. Wait, it actually costs $20,000 to have a child in the hospital. What country is this? Yes. In the US, it costs like $20,000 on average to give birth in a hospital. Obviously, like insurance, let's see, average cost to give birth in USA. Here we go. There's a quick Google search pulls this up. Here it is. The average cost of a childbirth is $18,000. Vaginal delivery, $14,000. C-section is $26,000. So, yeah. But we care so much about the kids, by the way. But we care a lot about the kids. I think my sister paid $5,000 out of pocket with pretty good insurance. That is crazy. That is insane. In Scotland, you get a baby box with lots of useful free stuff, which I think was copied from Finland. Yeah, because it's a good system to have, you know? You know what I mean? It's a good system to have that, like, if people, especially in a country that's banning abortion, so you're going to ban abortion and then you're going to give the parents absolutely fuck all. And then you're going to make them pay thousands of dollars to give birth. Like,
Then they start out, as a tomboy or feminine man. You check back a few months later and they're getting top surgery, irreversible surgery, because they get all these comments saying you look amazing, and then they get pushed into that direction of getting surgery.
I definitely felt the same way.
Often convinced by these comments that if they like to dress this way, they are...
First of all, it's not irreversible. Okay.
Non-binary. And then especially the young...
Like, you can, like, get back on hormones and regrow a lot of the, first of all, tissue or whatever. And second of all, you can also just get implants if you're very unhappy. People have done that. Like, it's literally, it's fully reversible. Like, also, like, these are not decisions people make lightly. Like, every single person that I know that is trans, non-binary, anything gender non-conforming, none of those people I have ever met have made a surgery decision lightly. Not a single person. You know what decisions gender non-conforming people tend to take lightly? Dyeing their hair. Changing their wardrobe. Which is fine. That's fine. You want to know why? Because your hair grows back. Also, you can get wigs. If you shave your hair completely and you're like, I'm trans, look at me.
I hate when conservatives always point to trans men when they talk about people victimized by transgender ideology, because women can't ever have their own personal agency or be their own person. Fab women can only be victims in their mind.
Oh yeah. But yeah, let's say you're like one of these crazy conservatives and you're like, dude, you don't understand.
DNMA.
Oh, James, thank you for the 29 months. Thank you. Also, tell us you don't know any black women without telling us you don't know any black women. Yeah. Are you wearing a wig? I'm unfortunately not. This is just my normal, natural, greasy hair. So, but thank you. But I also know a lot of people, trans girl, I would die for a vagina, but like, holy shit, that's still a big decision. I'd still want it more than anything else. And it's still a hard choice. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about a lot of different things. But yeah, okay. Like, you're like upset that like gender non-conforming people are making decisions about the way that they look, but those decisions can be changed. It's fine. I don't care if someone shaves their hair off or dyes it purple or decides that they want to dress a certain way. I don't care. If they change their mind later, they can change their mind. And every single person I know, every single gender non-conforming or trans or non-binary person I know, the people that I know that haven't gotten surgery because it is such a big decision. And they're scared that they like, either they're scared of surgery as just in general, like, because surgery is very scary. Because, like, you don't know what'll happen, you know, once you're under anesthetic. Second of all, people aren't sure that they're, like, they like the way that they look, and they're scared that, like, maybe if I get the surgery, I will be upset. Because, like, there is, like, and I'm tired of pretending like people don't know the risks of surgery, I guess. Also, yeah, it's really expensive. You know, like, these are not decisions that people are making lightly. You know? It's just, it's bullshit. And every single trans person I know who has gotten surgery, every single one has told me it was a decision that they spent years thinking about. They spent years seeing doctors, getting consultations, talking to their therapists or therapists, talking to friends, talking to family members. Like, they spent a long time because they want to make sure they're going to a good surgeon, and they want to make sure that they're happy with their results, and they want to make sure that they're making the right decision, which is the correct way. Like, and this is applicable regardless of whether you are trans or not. If you're ever getting surgery that is like not for some life-threatening illness, and even then sometimes you should think about it that long, because A, there's a healing process. B, you don't know like, there is no cosmetic surgery that you know that, like, surgeons can guarantee that you will look a certain way, you know. Like, anyone here who has gotten surgery, you know, the first thing your surgeon tells you is, hey, this is how we're expecting the results to look, but just know that we cannot confirm and guarantee exact results. Some people scar more than other people. Some people have faster recoveries than other people. Sometimes we do the best that we can, and it doesn't look exactly how we want to, but this is what we are going for. Like, that's literally what surgeons will tell you. You don't, like, I think that there's, like, this assumption that people just go into to get plastic surgery, and they're, like, 16, and they're like, hello, surgeon, I want my boobies cut off. And the surgeon's like, let me get the saw. Like, that's not what happens. That's not even close to what happens. Not even remotely what happens. Even a little bit. Walk-in surgery, yeah. Yeah, it's almost like having informed consent is important. Yeah. I got a scar touch-up surgery for the scars on my face. It was scary not knowing what the results would be. I can't even imagine what trans people would go through. Yeah, of course. Yeah. My I couldn't tell. I was reading this message and I couldn't tell if it was a yoke or not. My trans 13-year-old neighbor actually got a free transition surgery flyer and went in to get it immediately because it was only valid that day. There was no downtime, and it was so pain-free that later that day, her and 5 of her trans gang friends mugged a guy. I like it, bringing back old memes. It's true. It's true. It's actually true. That's how they get you. They send the free surgery for trans people flyers for 13-year-olds. But you have to go in the same day. And then everybody clap, yeah. All right.
Teenage girls, will go get top surgery, and then they'll get applauded for that.
So according to Misha, being ugly online and gender ideology are not only linked, but there is a causal relationship. Non-conforming self-expression leads to validation on the internet, which leads to young people being convinced to become trans and getting gender-affirming surgeries. What Misha's talking about here is called rapid onset gender dysphoria. This is the argument that peer influence and social contagion are causing gender dysphoria and in turn making people trans when they might not have been without that peer influence. The peer influence...
Like, oh my God. I'm sure Crowder spent some time researching before he got his gender affirming care. Of course he did. Of course he did. Can we talk about something also, Jack? Can we talk about something really quickly? Can we stop pretending like it's a social contagion? Can we be real for just fucking 2 seconds, dude? We're already back to fucking fascist rhetoric again. Again, being real in this economy is literally a Nazi talking point. It's so bullshit. It's so fucking... Dude, I can tell you, chat, okay? Oh, hi. Hi, Scootish. Hi, Scootish. I can tell you for a fact that none of the queer stuff is a social contagion. You want to know how I know? I went out to get drinks and dinner yesterday. Unfortunately, Scooters, you're gonna have to hear this story. I showed up early, I guess, and then I got one drink and I went to squeeze the lime in the drink and I got it. I don't even know how. I got it directly in my eye. That's not relevant to the social contagion story. I just wanted to share that with you guys because it happened to me and it was really sad and my eye was really painful and then I went to go wait for the bathroom so I could just go like get it out of my eye. And then I got socially anxious because then I started waiting in line. And then I realized, why am I waiting in line? I'm not going to pee. I'm just going to wipe my eye. But then I had already waited 5 minutes. So I was like, well, now I just have to wait the rest of the time. Because it would be weird if I was like, oh yeah, I've just been waiting here the whole time, but I actually don't need to pee. I'm just going to go to the... So anyways, that's not relevant. What is relevant though? I went...
The social contagion is real. I am the most masculine, swole, cis man, and even I have decided to become non-binary, so I won't get attacked on the street by the roving trans gangs.
The roving trans gangs are real. What is relevant though is I was hanging out with friends, okay? And there were way too many straight people at that. More than half the table was straight during fucking Pride Month around some of the gayest motherfuckers I know. All right? If it was a social contagion, everyone in that friend group should be gay by now. Or at the very least, bi. Okay? It's not a social contagion. It's not. It never has been. It never will be. Oh, yuck. I know. Isn't that disgusting? Straight during Pride Month? Also, like, I don't know. You're just, if
waiting in a long line for the bathroom when you don't have to use the bathroom is just a 5-head move. You'll probably have to pee when you get to the front of the line.
So you were right, because at the end of the waiting experience, I actually did have to pee. Because I ended up waiting like 10 minutes and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll actually pee. So I did. So you're right. So it was all calculated. It totally was on purpose. I did it on purpose. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did it all on purpose. It was totally real and true. I'm not cringe. You're cringe. As a Denims viewer, if social contagion was real, I would be a femboy by now. Yeah. Did you take care of your eye after using the toilet or before? I ended up doing it after because I had waited so long, my eye stopped burning. So it was actually fine. Yeah. Apparently, all you need to do is just wait a little. Anyways. I don't know why I shared that story. Don't know why. There's no such thing as social contagion. There's no such thing. There's only such a thing as you become aware that trans people exist, and then you realized, oh, I'm trans. Oh, it's all coming together. It all makes sense now. It's like the people who think that like ADHD is spreading or something. And it's like, no, it's just a bunch of people that like me who realize, oh, that's what, oh, I have ADHD. Okay. Okay. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. That's why I hyper-focused in classes I liked. And then in classes I didn't like, I never paid attention and then just cheated in those on every exam and also on the homework. Because that was AD. Okay. Okay. I see. That's why I have to build so many reward systems to get literally anything done. That's why I had to use Post-it notes for like years. And that's why I constantly have to create new ways of making sure I get things done in a day. Like, I literally, if I don't schedule stuff or if I don't write things down in some way, if it's on my phone, in a planner, on a whiteboard, on my desk, on my monitor, something somewhere, I won't do anything that day. And it's not because I don't want to do it. And it's not because I forget. It's just like the only way I can get anything done. Literally the only way. Furiously points at graft at left-handed people over time. Yeah.
If social contagion is real and Matt Walsh loves 16-year-olds, then his viewers.
I'm just gonna press play on the video.
In question here is those TikTok comments that Misha forgot to show us for some reason. Now, there is no...
Would it be cringe, chat, if this might be too cringe. Would it be cringe if I got one of those Elgato stream decks and then I put a Vine boom sound on there? Would you guys hate me if I did that? Because I feel like that was the moment for a Vine boom sound. Yeah, but do it. No, it would don't. Half cringe, do it. They look convenient. That sentence just kept getting worse and worse. I just want to be cool, guys, and I don't know how to be cool. And no one taught me how to be cool. Okay.
Credible evidence to support the concept of rapid onset gender dysphoria. The term originates from a 2018 study that cited online surveys of parents from 3 anti-trans websites, most of whom already did not approve of their children's transitions. The children themselves were not a part of the surveys at all. In the scientific community, the study has been heavily scrutinized. The term it put forth, rapid onset gender dysphoria, is not recognized by any major medical associations. In fact, its use has been discouraged by most of them, including the American Psychological Association, the American Psychiatric Association, the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, and others. But that didn't stop the right-wing media from running wild with this narrative. With books and massive media coverage, they take anecdotes and singular instances of things like people detransitioning or online communities of trans people in order to fearmonger about the trans epidemic. Misha's version of this fearmongering is the social capital argument, that these Zoomers will be applauded online for transitioning, and that is the main reason they do it. Not because, they're actually trans. And there's just no evidence that this is what's taking place. What there is plenty of evidence for, though, is that if you do get top surgery and talk about it online, the transphobic media landscape will call you a freak or a Nazi science experiment.
One of the beavers on Blue's Clues has had a top surgery, but apparently beavers trans themselves. Now, I have a little secret for you. Beavers don't actually do that. That's not a thing. According to everybody who makes children's TV these days, it is necessary to push trans on the kids.
Or in Misha's case, just say say you're doing irreversible damage to yourself for likes on TikTok. And so, by her logic, this should be reason enough to discourage social transitions like this, if the motivation is purely external. But she's decided to leave all of that out of her argument, which is certainly a choice. Young people discovering through social media the language and terminology that they need to adequately express their gender identity, that's a good thing. It is a good thing that spaces have developed to grant people agency to better learn and understand these things. The left-handedness graph is a good place to go here, where before a certain point in history, being left-handed was a rare occurrence because it meant that you were a demon or a witch or whatever.
I'm so happy that he's showing the left-handed chart, so I don't have to.
And then once the strict norms around this changed and left-handedness stopped being suppressed, the percentage of left-handed people grew and eventually evened out at where we see it today. We are currently in a period of growing cultural consciousness about trans people, so this part of the left-hand graph, and at some point that percentage will even out, or maybe it won't. Okay, so the next...
And can I say something also, chat? Maybe this is too far. I don't know. Maybe this is too far. Does it matter if everyone became trans? This is kind of like, this is why I don't get the people who are like, no race mixing. The bloodline. I'm a Nazi. Who gives a fuck? This is the thing that's always confused me about the racist people. It's like, why do I give a fuck what color skin my grandchildren are? Why am I supposed to care about that? And like, that's how I feel about the trans thing. It's like, okay, what does a society look like where everyone is trans? Sounds pretty based. I don't really care. It's not going to happen because transness is not something you can infect people with. Left-handed chart, pointing at left-handed chart again. But even if it was, am I supposed to care? Because I don't care. I'll be dead in like fucking 50, 60, 70 years. I don't give a fuck if everyone is trans in a couple decades, a couple centuries. How does that impact me? How does that impact me? How does it impact me that everyone has become trans? It doesn't impact me at all. You know what I mean? It literally doesn't matter to me, even a little. As someone who grew up being told a plain Jane gets me far in life in school and church and parents, and then grew up to be unhappy that my choice to discover myself was taken from me, I say fuck conformity. Yeah. It's so weird. It's so bizarre. I just don't care. I just really don't care. And I have yet to meet one person who has explained to me clearly why I'm supposed to give a fuck that my great-great-grandchildren aren't pure white people or aren't a pure bloodline. And I also haven't gotten one person to explain to me why I should care that my great-great-grandchildren are going to live in a world where everyone is trans. I don't give a fuck. They can do what they want. That doesn't impact me at all. I don't care. Show me an argument that would make me care. Like, what? Oh, dude. Oh my God. And then the worst part about it is that when you talk to them about global warming, something that you should care about because it will displace literally millions or billions of people, they're like, global warming isn't real. It's like, okay, so the society being all brown, that's too far. Society being all trans, that's too far. Society dying and collapsing because our planet is too hot for human life, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, and it's woke propaganda, and don't worry about it. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's insane that you would say that and not even notice what you're saying. That is unbelievable. That is crazy. I hate it here.
section is a bit of a deviation from the topic of the video, but still worth addressing.
I wear women's
Now,
clothes,
back to the whole male
and so
gaze,
some of my
there are
friends
actually
thought I
women.
was trans. No, I was just in the closet for so long I figured I'd try on a few outfits.
Makes sense. Thank you for the 5 months.
Who are now calling men predators if they want to date a woman from a different country.
Why do you think so many men are traveling overseas to find wives in other countries?
In other cultures, a lot of women are more submissive.
Yeah, they're pervy.
Men are traveling overseas to countries that have less money and less education. It's because they want a woman who is dependent on.
Yes, we're aware why you guys.
Wait, but that's just true. Huh? Wait, what? But that's true. The type of people that go and get mail order brides specifically get mail order brides because they want a woman who is not an equal partner. They want one who is dependent on them and is in a transactional relationship with them. That's just accurate. Maybe let's see what she has to say about it.
Let's go and get foreign girls because you can't handle women. That's why.
And this whole thing is so offensive and ignorant because basically what they're saying is that if a woman is not from the US and she's not woke, then she is uneducated, she doesn't have opinions of her own, and she can't be outspoken. And that's why men go for her. So the Western women think they are superior because they are empowered and awake.
That's crazy that you would say something so controversial and yet so wrong. It's if you are a affluent man attempting to get in a relationship with a mail order bride, both parties are fully aware of the transactional nature of the relationship. Both parties are fully aware, I am paying so you can have a better life, and in exchange, you will do what I want when I want. Those women are autonomous. They are making that decision. We're not taking that away from them. And they have their opinions, and they have how they feel about the world. And they are choosing actively, I want this so bad, I'm willing to deal with some like creep guy who lives in my home. But they're making all of those decisions with agency. They're choosing to do that. She was almost onto something and then somehow blamed it on Western women. I don't get it. And the thing is, I'm not even blaming men. I'm not even saying like, ew, those men are so gross or anything. I'm saying like, that's just a transactional relationship. Every party is informed that it is a transactional relationship. That's fine. Like realistically speaking, mail order bride, like, relationships end up being really bad because there is a very, very big imbalance of power. But that's not even what's being talked about. Let's see.
Right? It's the women from other countries who are educated and can be just as outspoken and have opinions and actually can still look normal, which a lot of people here in the US seem to struggle with. So can you blame men if they
Normal. Google says only 2% of Americans have face tattoos. There is this like very common weird propaganda tool that the right loves to use where they pretend like an issue is way bigger than it is. Wait, has anyone seen that one chart? Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. Wait. Let me see if I can find it. Oh God, I ADHD'd out. Wait. Shh. Let me think. Chat, you're talking so loudly, chat. Shh. Okay. There was a study that came out. I think it was a Pew Research one. I posted it on Twitter a long time ago. And it was a study that showed, or rather that talked about, I think it was the average American or the average Republican or the average conservative voter and their perception of how many minorities live in their country versus how many minorities actually live in their country. And like the average, I think it was like the average conservative voter unironically thought that like 20% of like the US is Jewish and like 30% of the US is trans or something. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like the numbers didn't make sense. Like they didn't add up correctly. It was every single minority group was severely overestimated. Do you guys know which study I'm talking about? I see some people know what I'm talking about, but like I want to be able to find it and I just don't know how to find it. Is it this one? No way. Wait. Is it? I think it was this. Yeah, the YouGov one. Is this actually it? Oh my God. Yes, this is it. Thank you. Bootleg Toe, thank you so much. I'm getting blinded. Here it is. Americans overestimate the size of minority groups and underestimate the size of most majority groups. So it says here, estimated proportions are calculated by averaging weighted responses ranging from 0% to 100%, rounding to the nearest whole percentage. To the question, if you had to guess what percentage of American adults blank. True proportions were drawn from a variety of sources, including the U.S. Census Bureau, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and polls by YouGov and other polling firms. Okay, so basically they pulled a bunch of people off the street and they said, if you had to guess what percentage of American adults have a household income over $1 million. Now the true proportion is like, that's like a 1%er. That's like, you're literally a 0.1%er to have a household income over $1 million. And the estimated proportion was 20%. People in America think that 20% of the country has a $1 million household income, which is why people are so anti communism, socialism in the US. It's because they unironically think that they are temporarily embarrassed millionaires. And what they don't realize is they are not millionaires. There are a very small number of people that are millionaires in this country, and they will never be millionaires. This one is crazy. If you had to guess what percentage of American adults are transgender, people voted, their guess was 20% of the population was trans. The actual number, less than 1%. What percentage of American adults are Muslim? They think 27% of Americans are Muslim. The actual number, 1%. If you had to guess, what percentage of American adults are Black? People guessed 41% of America is Black. The actual number, 12%. And this is where it gets interesting, where it swaps. This is where it gets interesting. They underestimate how many Americans are white, okay? They underestimate how many Americans have a high school degree. They underestimate how many Americans own a car, have flown a plane, own a smartphone, have a driver's license, have a household income over $25,000, have read a book in the past year. This is actually everything that's wrong with society right here. I don't talk about it that much because I think it's cringe, but also I'm going to talk about it now, so I'm going to post cringe. I hate this notion that like people are dumb. I hate when people say this. I hate when people say people are so dumb. People are dumb. No, people are smart. Okay? And I think pushing the narrative of people are too dumb is what makes people think that individualism is good and why communes are bad. And it's like, well, people are so dumb they wouldn't be able to run things. And it's like, fuck you. People are not so dumb that they can't learn something. Like, when asked what percentage of American adults have read a book in the last year, people think only 50% of Americans have read a book in the last year, when in reality it's 77%. The only one that was accurate was have at least one child, are Republicans, are married, and voted in the 2020 election. Everything else was like, well, I guess this one also is pretty close, and have a pet is also pretty close. Everything else is just fucked. Which is insane, by the way. It's insane that this is real. Here, I'll post it in chat for anyone who wants to see this. Ignorance and misinformation aren't the same as dumb. Yeah. Dumb Americans. Where does that come from? Fox News? Commonwealth nations talking shit on USA has been the norm for decades. I mean, I don't know. I fucking hate it. I just hate it. Super interesting, right? Yeah. The high school one is pretty wild. Yeah, this is insane. It's insane that Americans think that only 65% of Americans have a high school degree, when in reality it's 90%, which is sad that it's 90% and not like 99%, by the way. Anyways, people highly overestimate how many queer people there are. They highly overestimate how many minorities there are. They highly overestimate a lot of things, okay? A lot.
They choose to try and find a woman from a different country.
Breaking, the worst person you know is correct, but not for the reasons she thinks. So definitely based on the clip she showed, specifically the one where the TikToker insinuates that women in Eastern countries are not real women, but girls.
Because you can't handle women.
There is some white Western superiority feminism going on. I do agree that this perspective infantilizes women outside of North America and Western Europe and denies them agency in these arrangements with Western men. With that said, though, the loudest advocates for passport broism who go elsewhere looking for women, they're doing so for a reason, and most of the time that reason could hardly be described as liberation.
Get a little bit of money, get on a plane, fly to South America, find a girlfriend, have a child, fly back to America. When she says she wants to move to America, say no, work, go visit, be a family man when you can be a family man. Do not face the fear of divorce rate. Keep your freedom, live your good life. Have your genetic progeny, and be fine without worrying about losing the house, getting destroyed financially, and paying all your money away in child support.
It's called passport bros. It's very big in the black community, apparently. Very big. And a lot of black men, they're leaving in droves for other countries because in their eyes, black women are very combative, very masculine, talk down to them, berate them, make them feel less than.
These men are not looking for women who are going to be outspoken or have opinions. No, they are explicit in their preference for traditional wives who will not speak. They are looking for wives who have little to no financial or legal.
Guys, is it an alpha video if there isn't a little bit of racism? Come on.
Autonomy. They seek these women out precisely for the stereotype that they are submissive. Of course, these women can be outspoken and have opinions, obviously so, but many of these men seek arrangements that are predicated on them not doing those things.
Also, to be clear, a lot of the women who do get into relationships or like the mail order bride women, those women, most of those women actually are very opinionated. And most of those women are actually very driven. It's just that they know what they want and they're going to get what they want regardless of the cost. Like, they're still people. They are aware of what the transaction is and they're fine with the payment of that transaction. It's so no one is. Okay, I'm getting heated. You guys get what I mean.
We're not looking for employment or hobbies outside of the home, even if they might want to, because that goes against the role of a traditional wife.
I know like a large contingent of men who say it's not even worth speaking to Western women. Like it's not even like you exist. We just shouldn't even think of Western women as real because it's just too masculine, too career oriented. Why waste your time? Why have a headache involving yourself in that?
The criticism of the passport bro is
he spent too much time in the cuck chair, I think. I think that's why that TikTok came out.
meant to target this desire for a power imbalance, the patriarchal
Who let him
domination
cuck?
that these men want over women as the basis for a relationship. We can criticize that without denying the autonomy of the woman in question, but some of the feminists she's shown, at least one of them, have done just that. So half a point to Misha here for recognizing the Western-centric ignorance on display here. We stan an intersectional feminist queen. The half-point deduction there is because she still managed to somehow make this about wokeness.
The thing is that this style doesn't just repel men, it also repels women, because we don't want to be friends with someone that looks like this, because these people look like they'll start World War III if they get misgendered.
They don't want to be friends with you. You don't got to worry about that, trust me.
Demi Lovato, for example, or Sam Smith and their whole transformation, and they have this ugly style on the outside, but they are often ugly on the inside as well, much like all woke individuals who are narcissistic and miserable.
That's crazy that you're saying that after you're making a whole ass video talking about how much you don't like that other people have tattoos and colored hair. It doesn't get more miserable than that. You could not be more miserable than the type of person that's upset that other people dye their hair. You are if you are someone who judges other people for dyeing their hair, you are the last person I would ever want to be friends with. And I mean that. I mean that from my core. Because you're a judgmental person, and I'm not friends with judgmental people. If you see someone dresses a certain way or they present themselves a certain way and you judge them from that, you're a judgmental person. I don't talk to judgmental people. You want to know the type of person that will never judge me? The type of person that will never judge me is the type of person that looks fucking crazy, wild, expressive. If you have face tattoos and dyed hair and, fucking like crazy clothes, I know you will never judge me. I know you'll be like, yeah, come on, let's go. I could show up anywhere looking any type of way and you'll be like, all right, sick. Let's go have some fun. Because when I see someone who is clear about not caring about gender norms and not caring about conforming to society roles or expectations, I know that you don't give a fuck about me doing it either. You know? I know you don't care at all.
The screaming clips there continue for another 30 seconds. It's a good bit.
Has this woman not heard of, like, Karens? Huh? I'm sorry. It doesn't matter what group you're a part of. There's always going to be some fucking weirdos. Literally, it's always going to happen. No matter where you go, there's always going to be fucking weirdos. It's like every year or every once in a while, it comes out that like there's one person who was queer or trans or gender nonconforming who was also grooming or assaulting kids or whatever the fuck, right? And then conservatives love to be like, look, this is proof. This is proof that the woke ideology makes you want to be a pedophile or something. And it's like, no, in every group, there are just going to be people who are fucking weird. And we just don't claim those people. Doesn't matter how much you look like us. Sorry, every single group is going to have some fucking weirdos. Doesn't matter what your race is. Doesn't matter what your gender is. Doesn't matter how you dressed or whatever the fuck. Chances are there are going to be some fucking weirdos in every single group. Just the law of large numbers. Weirdos are an inevitability. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They say that as they ignore the Catholic Church. Literally, it's just like, it's just fucking stupid.
It's very funny. It's good comedy. It's very much not something taken straight out of a 2014 YouTube video. Okay, but for this one, Misha has abandoned all semblance of trying to make a single point and just started full-on preaching to the choir. I don't need to respond to it because there's nothing to respond to here. She says woke people are narcissistic, miserable, ugly, inside and out. Case in point, Sam Smith and Demi Lovato. And that's it. No reasoning, explanation, or justification. The only way you'd still be able to take her video seriously at this point is if you are either A, already fully indoctrinated into the anti-woke mind virus,
or B, have literal worms inside of your brain that are slowly but surely chewing whatever neurons you have left.
B, you're just not really paying attention. Sadly, though, this audience seems perfectly willing to gargle down this slop, and this is just one more example of why media literacy is important, but also, in many ways, dying. Many such cases. I miss the old days when dressing alternatively was because you were fun and interesting and not because you hated your dad. Dressing alt has famously never been about hating your dad. That started in 2012.
Hasn't dressing alt always been about hating your dad? Like hating your parents? The worms are eating good. Nematodes. Hasn't it always been about that? Always? Okay, all right. That is weird. That's crazy.
When all these kids started thirst trapping on LinkedIn or whatever. Repel, man. Don't worry. Her personality is spectacular at repelling us, and I love how they're still living their lives centering me in their behavior. The sheer audacity of Brian here thinking that any of the people in this video would ever give a single solitary fuck about him. They don't. Don't worry. They don't even know who you are. And if they did, they would wish that they didn't. This is a real eye-opening video, and this needed to be said, shown. Men can definitely handle women. We just want one who will bring us peace in our lives, not war and conflict. Men and women are indeed complementary, yet the feminists try to ignore this. Quit bitching about me taking out the trash, honey, please.
Also, sorry, just really quickly. You know gay people exist, right? I always cringe when people are like, men and women are complementary. It's like, we're just gonna ignore, like, gay people. We're just gonna Thanos snap gay people out. Like,
please, I don't need this kind of war and conflict in my life. All right, now let's watch Misha's conclusion here.
A while ago, we had this beauty pageant, was born male and won. Maybe they have an amazing personality. Maybe they're really funny and an awesome person, but this is a beauty pageant. We are lying to ourselves and to other people. All throughout history, we can recognize real beauty. If someone from the past or someone from the future came to this phase and this trend of the social justice warriors looking like this, I seriously doubt.
Okay. I try to avoid calling people dumb, but this woman is so dumb. The easiest way to get me to not respect you anymore as a person is to tell me that beauty standards are unchanging and have always been the same, and that you could pull any human being from any time period and that they would think the same things were beautiful. You're just like dumber than a bag of fucking rocks. It's actually crazy. I don't have words. If you unironically think that, it's like you're missing like your entire frontal lobe. Oh, dude, you are so annoying in chat. I'm gonna ban you. It's pretty dumb. Beauty standards are more flexible than a bamboo stack. Yeah. Drag show is literally the based version of beauty pageants. That's actually true. That's actually true. For anyone who's confused, just a basic understanding of art history would help. Yeah. For anyone who's confused, beauty standards have changed so much and they continue to change so much all the time. Oh my God. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Jenna. How are you doing? How's it going? Beauty standards are one of the few things that change literally all the time. Okay. Literally all of the time. If you go and look at Renaissance art, Our Farm is Lonely. Are you free today? Are you free today? I have a little bit of work I have to get to, but then I'm free. Alt culture is inherently political, but it's always funny as fuck to see conservatives who love Rage Against the Machine and dress alt and be like, wait, I wasn't done reading that. Oh, yes. Okay, I'll message you. As soon as I'm gonna take a nap, and then I think I'm gonna shower, and then I'll be free. I remember when being alt wasn't okay. Anyways, what I was trying to say, chat, was that like the best example that I like to use is that is skin tone. So historically, having darker skin was looked down upon, besides the racism stuff, because that's obviously important. I'm talking about within cultures where everyone is the same race. Having darker skin was looked down upon because it meant that you were poor and you had to do physical manual labor and you had to spend a lot of time in the sun. And because you had to spend so much time in the sun and your skin got darker, it like fed into itself. Yeah, colorism, yeah. Jenna, stop. Oh my God, Jenna,